Hey everybody! Hey, thank you everybody for watching Booney of Locked On A's interview with me, a 2-episoder. Booney, I really appreciate the time, and now I want to welcome everybody to Zenny62 YouTube channel, the Vlog Report with Zenny62, and introducing President Cristina Grappo, who is running for Mayor of Oakland in the 2025 special election. Welcome, Cristina. How are you doing? Cristina? Welcome. How are you doing? Oh, we have a bit of a hiccup there, I think. Okay, we had a hiccup there. She's went out, and now she's coming back in. So any minute now, we should come back in. What I don't quite know what happened there, but let me see here. Let's see here. I believe she's going to try again, or let's see here. Let me put this up, and then open this. Try and see where we're here at here. Your videos. There. And here I am. There. Yep. So I don't quite know what happened, folks. I guess she's still trying either that or don't quite know. Let me see if I can get her on phone. Hold on a second, folks. Hello.
Hey there. I just got knocked off for a second.
Okay.
Yes, somebody else didn't know they were impeding on my little setup here, and
no.
I had to wait for my my internet to reboot.
Oh, you poor thing. Well, we're waiting for you.
Okay. I'll just go straight there.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
You got it. And folks, that is under the heading of stuff happens because, well, it does. Let's see here. Let me try something while she's doing that. And I am going to try this. Yeah, and anyway, thank you all for watching the matter of the athletics, and it is really a dicey situation, to say the least, you know. Also, let's see here. That. And then, hey, everybody. Hey, how you doing, folks? How you doing? We're waiting on Cristina Grappo, Oakland mayoral candidate, to join us, and she's Oakland mayoral candidate special election to join us. She had a technical difficulty.
Unknown caller.
And I'm not going to deal with that right now. Hold on a second. Zenny62 Media, may I help you? I'm on live. I'm on the air. I'm on the air. I have to go. Bye. Okay. So at any rate, Riverbank, California, whoever the heck that is. At any rate, waiting for her. I think she had some hiccups or something. Still waiting. And while I'm waiting there, I will continue. Also, I'm going to talk about where we're at with a special election. There's a lot of bad and weird information out there, folks, regarding Barbara Lee, and she seems to trigger reactions from some people who can be bad actors at points. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Um, very unfortunate. Okay, so I got that. Oh, here she is. She's back. Aha,
Hello.
that worked. Hello. You're back.
How
We're here.
how are you doing, Mr. Abraham? Have you been entertaining the audience?
Yes, I have. Well, also just making absolutely certain this gets prepped out and everything. Hey, folks, this is, as I was saying, President Cristina Grappo. She's got a mask on. Cristina, tell them why you have the mask.
I have the mask because unfortunately we've had a pandemic for the last couple of years, and my house is very concerned that we stay healthy. So the house rules are we wear the mask inside the house. So as long as I'm doing something inside, such as this interesting blog, I must wear a mask unless I'm
Understood.
in my
Yeah.
own room doing something, yeah, not seated at a table or something like that.
And folks, that's what she looked like before she put on the mask, right? Right.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So Christina is running for mayor of Oakland in the 2025 special election. And Christina, hey, tell us about who you are and your Grappo. Is that Italian? Hmm. I'm happy to repeat that question too. I was thinking,
Basically, I have family from Italy that came through Ellis Island, and they're part of the Grappo family, which is a liquor that you might be aware of.
grappa.
And by the
Yeah.
time
Well,
they
a
came
very
to Ellis
expensive one.
Island, Grappo sounded more American, so it was changed in Ellis Island. Yes.
Yeah,
So
I remember.
so
Yeah.
now there's Grappos all over the USA, and they're all related to me. But
Oh,
sometimes
wow.
there's a generation that goes back to being the Grappo because they want to be more traditional or something like that. Or
Hey,
they
but
want
does this mean
Italian citizenship, like dual citizenship, being American and being Italian. But
does this mean you know where to get free
does this
grappa?
mean what?
That you know where to get free grappa?
Yeah, family reunions.
There you go. My
At,
buddy Dino,
at Grappo family reunions, we have the Grappa.
folks, grappa at the North Beach restaurant, which is unfortunately no longer with us unless they've found a way to reopen. Uh, had this $4,000 bottle of grappa in the basement, and I'm proud to say I had a sip of it. That was probably the most
Oh
expensive thing
my.
I've ever had. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Marcus Bethley wants to know: are you related to Jimmy G? Now that's a Jimmy G. She's Grappo. Are you related to Jimmy Grappolo? The San Francisco 49ers quarterback who
The
was
Garoppolo,
yeah,
Garoppolo.
yeah.
I'm not for sure. People used to tease me, "Are you related to Garoppolo?" I've never seen him at a family reunion, but who knows? Maybe it you know,
Good.
maybe
Good.
his family changed the name in a different way when his family arrived or something like that.
I love it. Hey, so Christina, tell us.
I myself am not a football player.
No, of
I may
course not.
watch the NFL, but I'm not a football player.
Well, you could play female. You could play, but anyway. Uh, so tell us though. What? Who are you? Who is? Who? Yeah. Who are you? Yeah. Who are you?
Okay, my name is President Cristina Grappo. Uh, I've worked all over the Bay Area. Uh, you know, family business, other people's family businesses, medium-sized businesses. I'm in healthcare right now, and I work, in a sense, I work for my father, even though I worked for his business growing up a little because he's a chiropractor. But he's visually impaired now, and so
Oh,
it's
sorry.
through a
Oh, no.
government agency called In Home Supportive Services, and he's learning how to walk with a white cane, and he's kind of bitter about the whole thing, but he's struggling through it. He has services like paratransit that get him more mobile to go places, but I'm doing the grocery shopping, I'm doing the errands, I'm going to some of his appointments. I think you know this from experience.
I'm doing it now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm now I need a new hip now on top of all that. So it's not the easiest time, but we make our way through it because I love my mom, and so so I'm here. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I really understand what you're going through.
Anyway, I don't mean to drag you down. So what I'll do is I'll talk about how I became President Cristina Grappo. It started way back in the 7th grade. I went to college young. Now, I know community college for some is, a more simplistic college route, but I started going to community college when I was in the 7th grade, and I continued and I transferred. I got into Cal,
Go
and I
Bears!
finished up Cal right away because I had so many units from community college. But to this day, I've asked them to try to find my transcript, and my transcript is lost in both places. So
Oh my lord!
anyway, so is
Did you
my
go?
memory.
I had a problem like that at Cal in 1980. Actually, it was 1988. And what happened was, because I was obsessive about this, I was wondering what's going on with my grad degree and all that. Uh, I had to, because we didn't have the internet in those days, I had to actually make a physical trip to, fortunately, I was working in downtown Oakland, but to Sproul, I had to take a day. And what I discovered was that someone literally didn't or forgot, either one or the other. I think it's more didn't and it was lazy. They did not put me in the ledger that they had in those days for the spring. They
Uh-huh.
didn't put the class. I signed up all these classes. So what I had to do was I had to go to each department of each class five that I had that semester, the semester in question, and I had to get them
Right.
to sign off on the transfer of that information that they had in their files in those offices to Sproul. I had to do that by hand myself.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's a
because
big undertaking.
yeah, and I got it done. Then they had it installed, and so I had basically A minus, for grad
Right.
school. They had not filed my thesis, which was entitled "A Theory of Decline: The American Institution of the World Economy." Uh, and the guy gave me a very weird, very interesting, and also very infuriating reason why it wasn't filed. He goes, "Well, see, what I think happened was we had it in the check was in the hand of the person, and then between here and where it's supposed to go, they dropped it, and
Huh.
maybe somebody threw it away." That's what I was told. And
Well,
and here,
I
and
was.
partic-
Go ahead.
and particularly, and the problem I'm telling you about was particularly prevalent among African Americans at Cal. Somehow, they just managed to lose your files, like almost like they didn't want to say that, hey, you went to Berkeley, you know, the same way that everybody else did who was white. It's something that no one's talked about. I
Right.
should start talking about it because that's you go through your, in my case, 2 years at Cal. You walk with your classmates, like my buddy Kofi Bonner, who's now CEO a bedrock in Detroit for working for Dan Gilbert, who owns the Cavaliers, and all these folks, and Eileen Marin, and all these other folks you went to school with, uh, and what do you have to show for it, right? And then it's not even on your
Right.
transcript. So at least I got it to where it's on my transcript. They still owe me my diploma. I went through.
Well,
Get this, I went through 5 different chancellors trying to get that part of it solved. Now I got to go to Rich Lyons. Okay, no one should have to do that. I mean, it's on the record that I've been there. I was in here, and all through this, I spent 7 years on the alumni board of directors of the California Alumni Association. They found me to recruit me. Okay, that was 98 to 2004. So through all that, I had the diploma problem, but as long as I was in the system, it was okay, because I was in the system, right? Because I straightened out a long time ago. But it's one of these things that should never be at Cal, ever.
Well, I'll tell you, I finished in 1989, but I walked with the 1990 class. I was part of some other universities at the same time, so I walked for global studies as a undergraduate, graduate, and then I walked with the law school, and I walked with the business school, and more recently, what I've done is, I take UC Extension courses every once in a while, and I reconvene with some of the same people. I had this business currency blockchain course through UC Extension, and it was very interesting. And it's interesting how there's a lot of Cal investors and people that were very interested in the technology of what blockchain, where it can go, and I came up with a theoretical idea about putting it in with elections, so there could be it would basically everyone would have their own blockchain by voting, and it would be like a digital way to vote. There would be businesses that could probably influence people to vote, so they could give vouchers to the people that actually voted, since we have a problem with voting, since it would be nice if we had compulsory voting, but maybe that's not for everyone.
Yeah. Hey,
anyway,
so
I got something out of that course, and that was more recently, within the last couple of years.
Hey, so first I want to say we're interviewing Cristina Grappo, and she doesn't have her face because she's wearing a mask, because where she's at, she has to. So if you're just tuning in and wondering, that's the reason. She actually looks like this is how she looks like, and so just want to make sure that you understand that if you're just tuning in to watch us. So go ahead, Cristina. Sorry. Oh, Cristina.
Yes,
So go ahead.
I wear my mask other than on Halloween to stay healthy in the household, with a lot of people that are in and out,
Yeah.
having different activities in their daytime and whatnot. I'm trying to crack down on those germs.
There you go.
So anyway, I'm Oakland mayoral candidate right now. I believe I can do a lot for Oakland. I can help build the economy. I have an MBA business degree from an Oakland campus of University of Phoenix. A lot of Oaklanders were inspired to do more than the same type of business that they were doing, so that University of Phoenix always draws in a big crowd. I mean, we see commercials on it for it all the time. Sometimes people go there and they use their work to satisfy units and stuff like that. Anyway, for me, it was a 2-year program, and I learned about things like the revitalization of Oakland. The canned mean helping support the local economy, especially the downtown, but all areas of Oakland that need mom and pop businesses to serve Oakland for Oakland, with grants and loans and business watch, so businesses can look after one another in a similar frame as neighborhood watch does for the neighborhoods. So I'm also into public safety. What do you want to know?
Also, what was the well, first of all, are you from Oakland or where were you born?
I was born in Oakland. I went to high school in Oakland at Bishop O'Dowd.
Oh, I'm out of here. I
Go
went to
Dragons.
Skyline. Excuse, I can't do this. Just kidding. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Okay, I should have mentioned my high school. Yeah, I
I'm kidding.
now I'm the wrong candidate because I didn't go to the right high school. But
No.
my parents met at Oakland Tech. So my grandfather and grandmothers. My grandfather and grandmothers lived in Oakland for most of their lives. Um, my father lived in Oakland for most of his life. My mother has lived all around. She's also commuted a lot. Since I grew up mostly with her as under a single parent household, she was working and going to school, and so she created a big work ethic in me. So even though sometimes I might be working part time, I'm still working in a number of engagements or schooling, or I have other stuff going on. So I keep real busy and I have a good work ethic.
Hey, I don't know what compels me to ask this, but did you play sport in high school?
Uh, a little basketball, not too much though.
Okay, I don't know something. What year did you graduate? Something in me just I had no reason. It just came out. But it's some memory back there.
Well,
What year? What?
although I although I finished UC Berkeley, for 1990 graduation, I finished high school in 1991.
Oh,
Right
wow.
before
That
that.
was wow. Explain
So
that.
I had yeah, we had strikes, you know we had time off from high school because of the 1989 earthquake, Loma Prieta. There were a lot of different things going on. So I was just, I was submitting assignments. I was going to school in the summertime, while I worked. I also did a number of different programs, and I'd have a study hall at in high school and doing college work there. So I was getting,
Was it
I'd find time to do a little bit about everything. But
was
most of the clubs that I did, um, was like chess club and stuff like that. Go
okay.
ahead.
And I was in so I graduated Skyline in class of 80. I was in something called the MESA, Mathematics, Engineering, and Science Achievement while I was at Skyline. And so I took a lot of classes at
Oh
Berkeley
yeah,
because of that. Something like that.
I did. I did some pre med classes over at Laney College, and I was a Mesa volunteer tutoring other students. So I liked Microsoft's backing for Mesa, and I think that's really neat that
Yeah.
the internet is all over the world because of Bill Gates and the Bill Gates Foundation and stuff like that.
Yeah. Hey, so what
But
was the go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry. Go
I
ahead.
go ahead. A lot of people, since I got through calculus in high school, people thought I was going to become an engineer in college, but I I didn't. I had the stamina for other stuff, so mostly for business, uh, that was my mathematics, and I did do some statistics for healthcare, but that's another story.
Hey, were you into science fiction? Star Trek?
Of course. Uh, um, Star Wars, Star Trek. May the Force be with you. Um,
Live
yeah, I
long and
believe that
prosper.
live long and prosper. Um, yeah, Star. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this question: which do you think is more uh, politically charged? Uh, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Oh, Star Trek easily. I mean,
Really?
and yeah, because if you know the episodes, if you particularly the original series and the next generation, uh, a number of the episodes have their storylines rooted in real life political conflict and storylines. For example, Balance of Terror was loosely based on the Cuban Missile Crisis. Balance of Terror is one of the most popular episodes in Star Trek history, and that was from the original series, where uh, the crew of the Enterprise makes the decision to cross over into the Romulan neutral zone in pursuit of an enemy which they do vanquish, led by a ship played by Mark Leonard, who later played Spock's father. So, I mean, I'm a Trekker. Okay, I was president of the Star Trek Club at Bret Hart. So yeah, I'm majorly dyed in the wool and covered Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con every year. I've been credentialed for it at least, even if I haven't been able to make it down there, every year since 2010. So yeah, I am.
Well, although I think Star Wars is more like politics than Star Trek, I think most definitely that Star Wars is more like politics than The Empire Strikes Back, and I think that's
Hmm.
so because uh because uh you have the Force and you have the evil Dominion, and you don't want to get sidetracked from too much pain. And I
Hmm.
think Star Wars was it was more like an action
Hmm.
type of film.
Interesting. So with all that, and what was the aha moment where you said, "I'm going to run for mayor of Oakland"? What happened?
Well, I started thinking about it last year around Christmas time, and I thought I would have a whole. I thought I'd have several months to consider running and seeing who else was out there and everything like that. Because I watched Channel 2 Fox News, and they said that the election was going to be in July. So, anyways, I did my own research starting in January, taking my time, and they said, no, you have to have all your petition work, you have to have all your signatures in right away. And so I just got on it. It was just instinct. So
Hmm.
there wasn't a lot of thinking into it, but I've had my own ideas, accumulating over the years about what makes a good leader and what makes a good elected leader.
But there wasn't anything that made you angry enough to go in that direction, because you said it sounded like it was almost a snap. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
do this. Did you see something that triggered you that day, or?
Well, what I did, with all these recalling, of the DA and uh, the Oakland mayor, um, I was a little concerned because, for example, Barbara Lee endorsed Mayor Tung or Mayor Chantal, and um, I have people in my family that didn't see anything wrong with her, but in my own eyes, I saw a lot of discrepancies, but I also saw the media making a bad name for Oakland, and I wanted to make a better name for Oakland. I wanted to be something to be proud of, for other people to be proud of.
So it really is about the love you have for Oakland and how you believe Oakland is being misrepresented.
Yes.
Wow, that's powerful. So, what's your platform as mayor? Because unless I missed something, I didn't see a website. Yeah, I don't know how to find information out about you. When I go to your LinkedIn, it says you're president of the Registrar of Voters, which I know really isn't the case. So, I was kind of wondering what, where's that place where I can find out
Basically,
about?
I think somebody got into my social media once upon a time. I think what it is since I've been a poll worker since I was a student in high school. um I've carried the president name in public at the voting precincts, throughout Oakland and Alameda County, you know, as far as Dublin, as far as Alameda, as far as, you know, uh, East Oakland, West Oakland, downtown Oakland. So I've carried the name president associated with the poll voter, with the registrar of voters, and that's the only thing I can think of is why somebody would just say that, because it could have been somebody that just saw me. What's this, President Cristina Grappo, or and my poll worker associates also would notice that I would vote on election day, and
Mhm.
then my name would be posted as President Cristina Nicole Grappo.
So
My middle name is on my election material.
you didn't make your LinkedIn profile?
Uh, I I I I have to. I think I have to revise it, but no, it was a while ago, and it's just been there like in stone for some time.
Wow. Yeah, I was really blown away because when I first looked you up, and in fact, I'll show you what I found on on search here. Uh, it was quite fascinating, and that's when I thought, well, let me consult her. Here is what I
The
found
only
on.
thing I think it was is maybe somebody did it so I'd get attention or something like that I was trying to get. Yeah.
Okay, what's his name? What's the boyfriend that did it? Or girlfriend? I don't know. Could be, I mean, but this is you on Ballotpedia, but this is where this one, this is what got me. President Registrar of Voters. See, and it says that you're president there. Um,
I mean, it could have even been somebody. It could have been somebody there.
huh.
It could have been somebody there that just saw, they're playing like music in the background, and they see that I'm popping in,
And then there
like
you are.
President
Yeah, and
Cristina Grappo, and they think, oh, well, I don't know if I can take this person serious, or is she an entertainer? What she's doing?
uh,
Have you heard of Mother Jones?
yeah, the magazine. Sure,
Have you
of
heard of
course.
Mother Jones, the magazine? Yeah. Back in 2016, I ran for senator. To be U.S.
Yeah, I
Senator
saw
of
that.
California.
That's what I was gonna ask you about next. Yeah.
It, oh yeah, and anyway, basically, they said, well, why does she want to be a senator when she's already president?
Oh my God. I have heard. Oh my God. Yeah, see right here it reads Registrar of Voters Office President and former chair of the Economic Development Council. And I looked at that, I thought, wow, Tim Dupuy is going to be really pissed off when he finds out about this. He is the actual Registrar of Voters. Uh, so I didn't know if maybe you were trying to vie to replace him because there's some people who want him fired. I I wondered. But at any rate, you have you have the LinkedIn presence, and beyond that, but this goes to my original question. It's difficult to find out, who you are. Scrolling now, you have see then it says experience, president, registrar of voters office for 51 years. I was like, Then it was like Berkeley School of Law and Georgetown. So all that needs to be cleaned up, because I think the real story about you is a lot more interesting than this one. Whoever did this to you didn't do you any favors. So fortunately, we have this so that you can just say, "Hey, look, refer to my interview with Zenny Abraham because he tells you the whole skinny." And to which your major at Berkeley was what? I think, did we lose her again? Oh, what was your major at Berkeley?
I'm right here.
I said, what was your
Global
major?
Studies.
Yeah, global studies. That's right. Did you also speak a language?
You didn't hear me?
I did before. I just want to make sure it comes through because we have a kind of a silent. I think because of your mask, some things don't come across clearly. So I'm trying to get the pertinent information out. So that, yeah. So that's why I asked repeatedly that question because it didn't come through clear the last time.
I'm hearing when I'm listening to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see if my internet connection is okay. My internet connection seems to be on.
But it might be. I think it's just that this is muffling you right here. Is what's going on. This is a big difference. I do this right when I'm talking.
Check the chat room.
Oh, chat. We only have one person, the Jimmy G guy. But at any rate, yeah. So I think that's what's going on. But at any rate, yeah, I was just asking what your major was again, so that people can hear it, so that we can, go about the task of giving the people the real view of who you are, because
so
there's
you're
nothing.
Able to see my private chat.
I can. Let's see here. Yes. Hello, Mr. Abraham. It says yes. I see it, and I'm writing back hi.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's a private chat.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Okay.
But at any rate, right. But anyway, I was just saying that because for people who want to know who you are, who would want to vote for you, they want to know who you are, right? So it's hard to tell if they're gonna Google you, they're gonna Google your name or Bing your name, right? And they see, registrar voters, 51 years, nah, come on, right? So I was trying to straighten that out, because it's prominent in search about you,
Okay. I have 10 years. I have 10 years experience, volunteer experience for St. Vincent de Paul's. I have 5 years experience over at Renee C. Davidson and Wiley Manual courthouses. And what this while it was called, I know a lot about the court cases that divide Oakland. I believe there should be more public safety. Are you? Besides neighborhood watch, I really want so we stop overworking our police officers.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Basically, what's happening right now is we don't have, according to what the norms are in police precincts. Police officers are supposed to. There's supposed to be a number of police officers for for the amount of population that a city has. You know, it's kind of specific, and we're not up to that par. We're nowhere near that par. And when we have, you know, acts of crime, what's going on is, you know, police officers get overworked and they're not getting compensated according to law. And so we need more police officers on the force, but this is going to allow the police that have been there to retire or to resume normal work hours. And in a July police academy, we can also train officers in you know, what's termed as police brutality. So social issues can be understood, you know, from an ethical standpoint, and you know, we won't have that sort of problem within our city domain.
You've been on the campaign trail now. What are you learning from voters, and what are you learning as you participate in the forums you've been involved in?
You know, it seems like people want to know what my education is like. Yeah, you know, I've studied law. I've studied business and law. More recently, you know, I did some online programs through Liberty Law and Trinity Law, and I think it's important to be on the top of your toes regarding a number of issues, because you know, we have sometimes we have a dichotomy between the religious and the secular for important issues, and I think that's what, you know, the United States Supreme Court was delving into when they say that it's up to the states to decide, you know, for abortion, and something like that could be construed that may occur for something like immigration. So it might be up to the states whether they want to have a sanctuary state or not. You know, that may or may not be there, because, you know, there's plenty of judges within the state of California, even in Oakland, that stand for Oakland as a sanctuary city, so that we can take in refugees and that we can, you know, grant
Do you support that?
citizenship. What I'm concerned about, I support Oakland as a sanctuary city to a certain point, but I'm concerned that we would miss out on federal funding for things like safe measures such as federal funding for police and for education. I think one of the big scope is education. Is that sometimes there's got to be a choice made between a sanctuary city receiving less money due to that money going towards educating folks, and there really shouldn't be. There should people should be able to have businesses and get their education and become citizens in a, you know, in a welcoming way. One thing that I kind of thought of would be nice is if our immigrants who come to this city, instead of waiting for 7 years to vote, that they could participate in, you know, in learning the language of English, since it's our standard language, and take citizenship tests uh, across the board, to gain citizenship and gain the right to vote.
On an annual
There are
basis?
so many. It I'm not sure. I just don't think waiting 7 years does it for becoming a citizen and voting, because uh, it's such a long time to be second class when
Ah,
you can be working on be working on your business and stuff like that, but not really having a chance to speak out. But the thing about it is I've noticed. See, I'm in healthcare right now. I think I told you about working in-home supportive services, and I'm part of a union, the local SEIU 2015, and in that particular realm, there were quite a few people that asked me about um, asked about what's going to happen to the immigrants, because a lot of immigrants are working in this type of healthcare industry, and um, they wanted to make sure that they'll still be able to have a voice, and that's where the people that don't vote, that cannot vote, voice their opinions, is in places like unions. So then there's a union representative that will go towards the supervisors, that will go towards the elected leaders to present the contract, to raise wages, to gain benefits, to ask for more sick leave time, for a number of points, even for asking for stuff like phones. Everybody has to use their mobile phone when they log in their hours. So these are expenses that are accruing, and there's not necessarily compensation for having to use this technology.
right.
That's just some a little bit of what I've noticed, and
If
that I'm part of as part of the union.
if you were elected, if you won the election, what is the first action you would take as mayor?
Well, I'd want to get the city council all together and go over the city charter.
Wow,
So
that's a
so
huge
something like that.
undertaking. That's a huge
I
undertaking.
something like everybody reads it by themselves and then we all read it together.
That's a huge undertaking. Wow. And to what end? What do you want to accomplish from
To
that?
what end? To make sure.
Yeah.
I want to see how people respond to the language. I want to see how people respond to, if there's any changes we need to make, so editing, um, being more inclusive for, the different uh, residents or citizens, um, and ways to focus and place importance, in the legislative body.
Wow. That's a huge undertaking. Now, would you, given what you said, would you keep the current city administration staff, bring in somebody else? Do you have any idea who that is? Have you done any homework? Have you met the current people, or what's your feeling about city staff?
I've met some city staff, as far as who I've dealt with in the campaign. Um, you know, I like, for example, the officers that check for metal and that sort of thing, that are, there's, I mean, people like to do that, so there should be some kind of rotation. And it could be that the current staff uh you know may be frightened of a new candidate because
Hmm.
just had they just had a mayor that was overturned,
Right.
and so it might be a better decision to bring in new people to
Mm.
to freshen up. uh so it would be better to work together without having a lot of bad background. But it might be good to have a little bit of the new and a little bit of the old, so there's a way to
Achieve that.
constructively move forward, push onward.
Sure. Sure. And what about our sports teams? Who's your favorite Oakland sports team or was? And do you believe that we should try to get our sports teams back? What say you about that?
Well, I enjoyed the Gold State Warriors, but to tell you the truth, I would probably see more basketball from the Harlem Globetrotters when they came to the
Sure.
Coliseum. So there are different issues. For example, some people want to turn the Coliseum into housing, affordable housing. um, and oh,
Uh-huh.
some people, um, I think the Golden State Warriors would return to Oakland if there was a better stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh,
Hey, are
I
you
think they
are you
miss.
familiar? I'm
I think they
curious.
miss Oakland.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Coliseum City, the concept?
The Coliseum. Go ahead and tell me, and I may have heard
Sure.
of it in another light.
It was proposed by three gentlemen: Frank Dobson, Steve Lowe, and Bob Lesty. Frank Dobson is no longer with us, as is my great friend Bob Lesty, whose daughter Lynn I know to this day. She also went to Skyline. Um, and their idea basically simply was that when they went to A's games early, there was no place around the Coliseum to immediately go to eat or to, shop, buy an A's jersey or have a drink.
Mm-hmm.
And their simple idea was to have a retail complex on site right next to the stadium, almost an appendage of the stadium. And that idea, it kind of morphed into something larger where it became essentially a new town in town. Uh, the city tried to get a developer for it. None of the developers the city worked with panned out. And so then it became the central part of Oakland's answer to the National Football League and how it was going to keep the Raiders. But even then, the proposal that came out, it wasn't clear what the city was offering. You're offering a stadium, fine. You've got 150, $130 million in subsidy, but it's just the stadium and nothing else around it. It was actually doable once they came to it, but it wasn't anywhere near the gargantuan $750 million subsidy that the county of Clark County was willing to offer on behalf of the Nevada government because that was Dillon's rule law, uh, and became what we now call Legion Stadium. So that was what came out of the Raiders, the city's attempt to retain the Raiders at the time. But that was it. That was it. And so that was Coliseum City. And so it's still alive because
Mhm.
nothing's been done down there. Now it is in the hands of the African American Sports Entertainment Group, and the concepts that they are using in their preliminary uh, videos are basically what was made for Coliseum City by the city of Oakland many years ago. See,
Mhm.
that was it.
Well,
That
the
was
only
it.
thing I can say is, I'm looking at the area, or I'm thinking about the area like along Hagenberger to the airport, and how Walmart closed, but how there's still a lot of restaurants that are
Sure.
open in the area. That's where one of the union's offices is located, and there's Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks and
Yeah.
Taco Bell. There's quite a few restaurants over in that area, but Walmart, folded.
Right.
You know,
In-N-Out Burger is gone, and
right.
great
There's
burgers.
there's nothing too big and too there's nothing too big that could keep it. And when you go right outside uh, Coliseum Bart, there's one restaurant across the way, and uh, there's one restaurant across the way, and it 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 gets business, but most everybody's just on their way to work and have to transfer to another bus.
Wow.
But
Wow.
what I was thinking about is the airport. For a long-term project, the environmentalists don't want any more work into the Oakland International Airport. But the union sees it
Do
as
you agree with
creating
that?
new jobs.
Say, do you agree with
Um,
that?
I think we should allow for some growth. It doesn't necessarily have to be as much, as much of a big deal to please both groups.
Interesting. Hey, let's do this. Let's have a two-parter because you have a lot more to say, and we got a little bumpy because of the communication. So come on back, and we'll talk more about it. How about that?
Okay, now when are we gonna set a date, or should we just do that on our own?
Oh no, we'll set a time. I mean, we can do it now, or do you want to say Friday? Friday, same
Um,
time?
unfortunately, I'm working, and I have a union meeting. Um, what do you
Or
want to take a
Saturday?
break? Do you want to take a break? And reconvene when you finish at 7, 6 or
Well, it's
7.
7:25 here, and I have to make sure my mom gets dinner.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll let me know your availability, and I'll get back to you.
Sounds good. I'll also pitch Saturday as well.
Yeah, Saturday.
New web.
We're to do um 4 or 5 o'clock.
Oh, hold on a second. This should be fun. Hold on a second. Uh, hey, Ms. Webb, I have your counterpart on. Hold on a second. It says hold and accept. Hello, Ms. Webb. I can't hear her. At any rate, I'm interviewing your counterpart, Cristina Grappo, right now. But we'll talk later. Okay, I don't know if she can hear me or not. You met Marina?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm interviewing President Cristina Grappo. She's also running for mayor. So I'm introducing the two of you.
Yes, I remember seeing you at the League of Women Voters session that we had recently.
Yeah, she hung up. Anyway,
Oh well.
stuff happens. But anyway, you can't say I'm not trying to bring the world. No one can say I'm not trying to bring the world together, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we'll plan for that.
No one can be the nice guy, I suppose, except for the host, right?
Hey, there you go. Hey, so thank you. Don't move a muscle. Everybody, stick around because later tonight I'm doing my NFL mock draft, and I'll have more on the city of Oakland, the A's, and other Oakland doings. And then we'll turn our attention to other matters having to do, yes, again, with the National Football League. All right. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark OaklandNewsOnline.com, ZennyReport.com, and NFL News at Zenny62.com. Thank you, Ms. Grappo.
Hey, thank you.
You got it. Don't move a muscle. That ends the stream, folks. We'll be back later. Oh, and